Deputy President of the Patriotic Alliance, Kenny Kunene, has blamed foreigners for the high crime rate in South Africa. Last Saturday, at their manifesto launch, the President of the PA, Gayton McKenzie, shared similar sentiments, promising they would be deported if the party was elected. McKenzie accused undocumented migrants of owning RDP houses while the government was doing nothing about it. Joining us now to discuss his party's manifesto and their stance on illegal foreigners, I'm joined by the party's Deputy President, Kenny Kunene. Mr. Kunene, very good morning. Thank you for speaking to us. Now, talk us through your attitude towards immigrants. There obviously a lot has been said. Will you clarify your position?
Thank you, Hugo, and thanks for inviting me. Hugo, our stance is very clear that we will deal with the issue of illegal foreigners. Number one, the police cannot do arrests on very serious cases, because when they run the fingerprints that they find on the crime scenes, they are not on the system. So these people are not accounted for. Number two, we have seen that big factories are now employing illegal foreigners, which for them is cheap labor. And that causes a very high rate of unemployment among South Africans. The country's and the government's responsibility is first to its citizens. You have a crime of kidnapping. No South African commits a crime of kidnapping and asks for ransom. And we have found out that this crime is committed by foreigners, mainly illegal foreigners, coming through Mozambique. So it has got serious implications. It puts a serious burden on the health system, because hospitals end up being overcrowded with illegal foreigners when they are sick or they've been stabbed, and South Africans can't get access to health services because of the unaccounted for illegal immigrants. So it is a huge burden on our economy.
Mr. Kunene, you talk about unaccounted for. Now, what are the statistics that you have on these illegal immigrants? I mean, let's talk numbers.
Hugo, the government itself is speculating on how many illegal immigrants are in South Africa. But when you look at those who do their research, they are millions. We've got millions of illegal immigrants, not only from Africa. You've got illegal immigrants from China, from Serbia, from Somalia, from Australia, from US, from South America. You've got illegal immigrants everywhere in South Africa.
Mr. Kunene, if I could come in there, sir. I think it's important to talk about specifics. Millions is not a number. Let's quantify them. I presume that in coming up with your stance on the impact of illegal immigrants, you've done a certain amount of research, and you can tell me that, and you can tell the listeners of Newzroom Afrika, Channel 405, that there are 500,000 Mozambicans or 600,000 Nigerians in South Africa. What are these numbers? So we have a clear understanding of their impact.
All that I can tell you, Hugo, is that they run into millions. As I said, you cannot quantify the number, because every day, even this government itself does not have those numbers. It does not have those statistics. They can only speculate, because the numbers are very high. It's not only illegal immigrants that are here for jobs. You have got criminals that are leaving their own countries, and they come to South Africa because our system is very easy to bypass to get into South Africa. So that's why I'm telling you that what we have found out is that it goes into millions.
Okay, not absolutely convinced on those numbers, Mr. Kunene. In fact, a report by the Justice and Correction Services, going back only a few years, unfortunately, says only 7.5% of prisoners were actually immigrants. Now, that suggests that a lot. Well, 7.5% is not a huge number. It suggests that 90-odd% of those in the prisons are actually South Africans.
That was a few years ago. It is not now. And I was in prison When I was in prison, by the way, there were illegal immigrants from Portugal who committed crimes here that I stayed with in the cells. Portuguese illegal immigrants. So 7.5% might not be a big number for you, but it's a big number. It's a big number if you look at the total population of those who are in prisons. It's a very big number. And it has increased as we are speaking now. When you look at Sunnyside, the Nigerians want Sunnyside to be named New Lagos. When you look at the south of Joburg, where there are wholesalers, flats have been built there by the Chinese, where they are housing illegal immigrants who work in those factories, in those wholesalers.
Mr. Kunene, you mentioned earlier that this is about South Africans coming together. Surely the responsibility should be on SAPS. Hello, can you hear me, Mr. Kunene?
Yes, I can hear you now.
So surely the onus should be on SAPS and the authorities to deal with the immigrants, the illegal immigrants. But anyway, moving on, you've focused on immigrants.
Let me answer that one.
Okay.
Let me answer that one. The problem here is this needs also a political will to deal with it. SAPS, when they're investigating crimes, they cannot do arrests on crimes that are committed by illegal immigrants unless they are caught on the scene of crime or somebody informs on who has committed the crime. So SAPS is also having a difficult time, but the political heads are not taking action. As an example, illegal immigrants and foreigners have hijacked buildings in Vredendorp, in Johannesburg, in Hillbrow. They have hijacked houses. They have hijacked flats. And we know about this. The police know about this. Government know about this. But nothing is being done about it because the police are being bribed, officials have been bribed, politicians are being bribed.
Thanks, Mr. Kunene. You've obviously clarified your position on the immigrants.